Hey beautifuls, and welcome to my channel. It's Direct D, that's me. So today what I'm going to do is going to share a story with you on the reason I shaved my head, okay? But in the process of doing that, I'm going to also shave my head. It's about time to do that. And you guys may not see anything, not much, but I can feel it. And it feels like a little peach fuzz. And although some will say, why don't you let it grow back or what have you? I just have some spots that just won't do that. So I'm okay with being bald. So what you'll need is what I'm using. I did a fresh wash today, and what I did was I used a facial scrub up here. Now, I know that it seems strange, but trust me, it works. When I have ingrown hairs or anything, sometimes in the back of my neck, it feels like bumps are going to be there. It'd be real tender, real sore. I just use the apricot facial wash with the scrub, apricot scrub. And it just kind of loosens everything up. And then sometimes I'll just take my hand and I'll just go up the back of it and try to, pull some of the hairs out. That works every now and then. But for the most part, that scrub will work. It just exfoliates and pulls the ingrowns up out so that I can go ahead and shave them off, okay? Now, I don't always be successful with that sometimes, because sometimes I will shave with oil on my head, and I do put Vaseline on it. I can't use anything else. I've tried coconut oil. I've tried other different types of oil. Kind of just breaks out with it. So I realized that just regular Vaseline will do it. I also could use the Vaseline with the cocoa butter, the shea butter in it as well. But the type of razor that I got is a Sweet LF. I think you guys see it that way. I'm not sure. But it's called Sweet LF. And it's a rotary. And she comes like this. She comes like that. Okay? What they do? Hold on. She comes like that. Okay? And she's been with me a long time. I've changed the head out a couple of times. You got this top that just covers it when you put it back into the box. It comes out of the box like, give me 1 second, you guys. Like that. And then it has the cord to charge it up with and everything in there. But before I get any further, I would like to thank you newcomers. If there are any, welcome to my channel. And I hope that you enjoy what you're hearing today. I hope that you enjoy going back and looking at my other videos. And those who have decided to come back, thank you so much, okay? So if you like what you're hearing, give me a thumbs up. You can comment at the bottom, share it. Maybe it may help someone else. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to, what did they say, bless others today with my story, okay? Of course, I will be shaving my head. So I hope that the noise isn't too loud and too overwhelming, but I gotta shave it. And I'll tell you the story about why I came to this point, okay? So, my mom passed away 2017 of breast cancer, okay? It was due to asbestos, okay? And in the process, I did have hair. I've always had thin edges. From however I can remember, I've always had thin edges. And so that didn't really bother me. But then it got to the point where I started trying to wear the braids when it would go to the back. You know how they have those long braids? And I had people whose hands were, we call them heavy-handed, where they just pull and pull and pull, and the braids are already going that way. And then the heavier the braid, the more pulling it will do. Went from there to getting sew-ins, and I guess maybe the thread was just cutting it off. You just don't know the strength of people's hands. And so during that process, not saying that is what caused it, but that helped it to get on out of the way, so to speak. And so I remember after my mom passed, I never thought about shaving my head before my mom passed. Because some people say, well, you did it, for your mom to go back. No, I didn't. I liked having hair at that time. But at the same time, I was doing crochets, and I was doing wigs, and I couldn't ever do braids, because I noticed that one day my daughter spent like 8 hours doing my hair. And when she got through, my parts were like that, like they were so far apart. And I was like, how am I going to tell my daughter I just can't do this, because we see that it's something wrong. And I don't know if she saw it, but she was like, Mom, I put so much time into that. And, I know it upset her and everything, but she did allow me to take it back down because I wasn't comfortable with it. So I've never been able to wear braids, ever. And I've always wanted to do that, but I've never been able to wear it. So when my mom passed in 2017, I think I probably went about 2 years of wearing wigs and trying to hide the spot. And then one time, I even got to the point where I just said, I'm not going to put on another wig. Today is the day I'm just going to go with my natural hair. And I wore afros. Now, the way that I wore my afros was like the 70s. So I had it where the headband was around and I had it hanging to the side. I thought I was chic. I thought I was back in the 70s. I loved it. But it got to the point where, it still was kind of uncomfortable, because I felt like I was still not letting my scalp breathe. And then all of a sudden, as I was going through all this, I decided I'm going to check out and see if I can y'all hear me now? Okay. So, as I was going through everything, I got to the point where I was kind of just, I got tired of just trying to hide my hair, even with the scarf. And during the process, I ended up, one Christmas, I had this little fancy hairstyle where I crocheted the back of my head, because it was always so full and thick. And I got me some gel, and I gelled my hair up, and I put the little bun on the top, and I thought I was the stuff. And that was around Christmas time. I never forget it. And so I had already bought clippers, because it was just in my head, just off and on, that I need to just go ahead and do something. And in the process of it, when I was doing that, I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and just keep them in the house, just in case. So one Christmas, I had my little hairstyle up and everything, got ready to take it down, and I said I'm going to wash the gel out and everything. I had that even edge control on my hair. They laid it down real good. In the process of me doing that, I wet my hand, and I put my hand on my head, and I had a palm full of hair. And I was just like freaking out, like, oh my God, what's going on? I'm looking at my head, and I'm like, I guess this is that time. So in the process of all of that, I called my daughter. I put my phone inside of the mirror so she could, I had like this medicine cabinet, and I put my phone inside of it, and I called her, and I told her, I said, I called you for moral support. She was like, well, moral support for what? And I said, I call you for moral support because I am about to shave my head. I just got to do it. There's nothing else I can do about it right now. I'm just so tired of it. It is what it is. And I just got to get this off my head. Now, I was freaking out, and I was scared. I was very scared, because this is something I had never done before. People were not accepting. I was afraid of no one being attracted to me. I was afraid of, if I cut all my hair off, I don't have anything to hide. A wig won't stay on my head. That's my thoughts, okay? And finally, I was just like, it is what it is. Let me just do it. So I took this plastic bag, and I put it down in the bottom of my sink. And I told my daughter, I said, okay. But now, at first, my daughter was telling me, she's like, girl, you got your mama's head. I'm kind of nervous about that. You might not be able to rock that. I don't think you should do it. But I'm here for support. And I said, that's all I need. So I put my head down into the sink, and I shaved it off with clippers. I didn't have a razor then. I shaved it off with clippers. And I didn't come back up until there was nothing else to cut off. And when I raised my head up, my daughter was like, she did that boomerang thing on me, like, She said, yep, that's not bad, And I was like, really? She was like, yeah, that's You did good with that. That looks good on you. You can rock that. And so it was like, at that time, I still wasn't comfortable with it. I was still like, okay, I got to get used to it. I took a few pictures, and it just got to the point where I was like, it's do or die. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't no going back. I mean, even if you try to, put something on there to, like, do a quick weaver and thing, I didn't know how to do that. And I didn't want anybody seeing me with that right now. And I wasn't comfortable in going out like that. But I just knew that I had to get it off my head. And so time passed by. I still had it covered up for a minute. And then one day I just went and got my lashes done. I got my eyebrows done. And I said, today is the day. I came to work and people were just like, oh my God, you shave your head. Oh my God, you shave your head. And I was just like, okay, I don't like attention like that. Just stop talking about it. But it was an attention. It was an attention grabber, I remember one of my customers coming in. She was an evangelist. And she came in. She was like, Dee, you gon' shock some men. I was like, what? She was like, you're going to shock them. They ain't going to know how to approach you. They ain't going to know what to do for you. That's a strong woman to shave their head. And not saying all women are strong. I don't think she meant that. But she had just never seen me like that. She's always seen me with hair. And she was like, oh my God, it looks so good. I wish I had my camera. I'd take pictures and show people that's a strong woman. And I was just like, you sure it look good? And she was like, yes, ma'am, it does. Yes, it does. So, I kept getting a little feedback from people, and I got feedback from people like, I don't like it. And it was a couple of men who had their wives with them. Their wives were saying, I love it. But the men were like, I don't like it. I was like, well, you got your wife. I ain't worried about you. I didn't cut it for you. I didn't shave my head for you. I shaved it for me. Because deep down inside, no matter what I was doing, trying to stick with the Joneses, trying to do what everybody else do, that was not me. That was not me. And I've always been kind of weird on the inside. The way I would love to dress if I could dress. If I could afford some of the things that I wanted to dress in, it wouldn't be like name brand stuff. I just love boutique stuff. I love off the wall stuff. I love, and I was just like, I got to do something to rock this hairstyle. Now, I don't know if you've noticed it. I have a split ear. So I don't wear earrings, any. My daughter did buy me the sticker things that go on the back of your ear, but I don't know. I guess I have so much oil on my head, and I'm rubbing and everything till it don't last long. So I just decided just do without it. But then I started to go into the fact that I got to have something that makes this baldness pop. I'm starting to switch out, so that's why I stopped for a minute, because I cannot. You can't shave your head when it's wet, when you're sweaty. And it's the light on me and everything. So just give me a minute, but I'm still talking, okay? So anyway, as time went on, I never forget, I was at school with my daughter. I was in where her school was. And we decided to go out to a Lowe's or something. And I was just like, okay, okay, let's go. And so I told her, I'm leaving this wig at home today. She was like, okay. I left the wig at home, and I went out, and everybody was just, well, it might have been a few people looking, but you know how when you're in a place where you think that everybody's looking, and not trying to be vain, because it's not that way, but it's awkwardness. And then it got to the point where I was kind of walking around and stuff, and I was forgetting that I had shaved my head, and I was like, what they looking at, and my daughter was like, remember you're bald. I was like, oh yeah, I am. And then I remember going to different places, and I got comfortable with it, but people started to speculate. Okay, people started to ask questions. Are you okay? Just checking on you. You okay? I had exes to come to me. I had friends to come to me, because I hadn't told anybody anything. I hadn't shared anything with anybody. I just shaved my head. And so the thing about it is instead of them asking me, why did I shave my head, or what brought me to shave my head, they were just asking, was I okay? And I was like, are you? Yeah, you good? I'm good, And at the time, it didn't dawn on me why they were asking, because I don't have to report to anybody on what I do to myself. And I don't have a whole lot of friends around me that will that I have to say, let me tell you something, friend. Let me tell you something. So I remember going to the grocery store one time, and the young man was like, "Ma'am, I can get that bag for you." And I was like, "No, it was just one bag. I mean, I could carry that out. The car is right there." And he's like, "No, ma'am, I can get that." And I was like, "Well, no, I said, help somebody else, baby. I got it." He just was adamant about taking that bag out to the car. And then I was like, "Okay, then." I gave him the bag, and I mean, it's on you. I didn't tell you I was sick. I haven't used anybody. But people just assume since I'm bald. I don't know if anybody else feel that way. If you do feel that, let me know in the comments what how you experienced that. And have you experienced people just assuming that you were sick, that you had cancer because you shaved your head? And I know my mom had cancer, and I thank God that I don't. I don't have that. And it's nothing against it, and it's not me trying to take away from anybody with cancer. But no, that wasn't the reason that I shaved my head. I shaved my head because I had a little part right here. No matter what I wore, no matter what I put on there, that just would not, it was just clean like I'm shaving it now. And I would do everything, and it would not come back, and it would not come back, and it would not come back. And then I was just like, I'm just sick of it. That was one of the reasons that I was trying to get away from everything, because I just did not want to be worried with this. I didn't want to have to be shocked that if the wind blew too hard, my wig came off, that I was about to have to run behind my wig and be shamed because this spot is showing. I didn't want to have to go through all that. So that was another reason that I did that. But I've had people just come up to me and ask me, how am I feeling? And how you been doing, Didi? You been doing okay? You taking care of yourself? I'm like, yep, you taking care of yourself? Because in my head, I don't take hints. You have to ask me, because I'll ask you if I want to ask you, And I have a lot of people that just speculate, just think, just assume that I shaved my head because I was sick. I also remember another time me and my daughter took a mother-daughter trip. We went to Portland, Oregon. Yeah, I know it's a weird thing for two black females, but I just looked in Google and I was like, hey, give me a place where a mother and daughter can go and enjoy shopping and flea markets and that's what it popped up, and I said that's where we're going. And in the process of being, and we went on this cruise. It was like a 2-hour brunch cruise. It was amazing, of course. And I decided to just sit down, just stay and watch downstairs. And my daughter stayed with me as well. But everybody else, when they got through, they started running, going around the boat, going on the top and looking out at the water and stuff. And I just didn't move. I didn't want to. And at the time when we were trying to unload to get back off the boat, I was standing there waiting on my daughter. And while I was waiting on her, it was this couple. I want to take my glasses off so I can see. One of a young couple was getting in line. The line was so long, and I was gonna just patiently wait. And I'm looking off, but I'm seeing this guy eyeing me, and I'm like, what's going on, And he and his girlfriend walked, or his wife or whatever, walked ahead, and he stopped like in front of me. And she was still going, and she looked back at him, and then saw that he was looking at me. And I guess she went to see what was going on. And he said, "Ma'am, you can go ahead." And I was like, "No, it's okay, it's okay." And my daughter was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he was like, "You go ahead." And so okay, I'll go. And in the process of me going off the boat, I keep saying it in the process, but for me going off the boat, my daughter was like, "Well, what is that?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "Maybe he assumed that I was sick and he was helping me get on off the boat." I said, "I didn't tell him nothing. I don't think I looked sick." And but it's not my fault what people think, If you think that you were trying to help me, I appreciate you either way. It wasn't the fact that I was trying to get over. It was the fact that he assumed because I was bald. And I was just trying to get rid of this trouble that I had, which was I didn't want to keep dealing with a bald spot. Now, as you see that I'm shaving, my hair tends to go in different directions. Okay, and this is, I didn't tell y'all, this is a men's razor. Okay, of course they don't have women razors, and I don't care. You know, it does the job. The clippers would not get close enough. And I'm not gonna wax. I've seen those videos. I don't have the stamina to go through that. This works real fine. I don't know if you'll see on here how it's lit up. That means it's on full, and then when it gets low, it'll drop down to this, and it'll just finally just turn off. But it does have a USB cord that you plug it up, and it doesn't take long to charge up. And I love it because when I don't have to worry about hair falling. You see, there's no hair falling because the hair is saved in here. Once I get through with it, I'll just open it up and I'll show you what it does. And then everything comes out. Everything is kind of portable on the inside where you can clean it out. And I'll clean it out like every 2 shavings. And this will last me. Another thing too. It's the best results that I get from shaving is if I shave it on a completely dry and oil-free head. So like I said this morning, I did an apricot scrub to exfoliate it and everything, put everything to the top so that once I shave, it should be smooth. What they say, smooth as a baby bottom. And I waited a minute so that the hair on my head can go ahead and dry. Even though I dried it, I wanted to make sure that it was totally dry by not messing with it. I didn't apply any oil or anything like that. And I promise you that is the best. Sorry, I'm shaking. That is the best way to do it, is on a dry, clean head. Okay? I don't let it get real long because it starts to show that I need a shave. Because like I said, it'll start growing halfway up my head. And then I got that cowlick from my mama and my daddy, child. From my mama and my grandmama, really. And I remember my brother telling me when my hair was getting thin, my brother was like, "Sis, me and you got mom's cowlick." And I'm like, "Boy, I don't want to hear that about no cowlick. I'm a female. It may look right on you, but not on me." You know? Like, that's no motivation to me. You telling me that I'm losing my hair. And so, no, I ain't trying to hear that. But I shave my head in different ways because my hair literally grows in different directions. You'll see me come around. I go to the back and I come back. And then I'll cut some more because I can hear it in my ears. I can hear the razor cutting more hair. And then I'll go back down again. And I go back around. And I'll go down again. And that's the way I do it. And there are times when I have to go across because it will. And you'll see me have my hand up here. That's because I'm rubbing to see if there's more hair. Like I can feel the little bristles. And so if it is, and I'll like right there, I can hear it real well that it's cutting some hair. And I'll turn it in different directions. And I may go sideways, up and down. And if it's better, that is better. Now right here is always like my worry spot. Not because it doesn't do anything, because it worries me. It's so hard to do that with this left hand because I'm not left-handed, I'm right-handed. But it takes me a minute to get it. And I just want to say that it's not easy, admitting that you're losing your hair. There are so many beautiful black women out there in all shapes and all sizes and with all types and textures of hair. And there are some people out there who doesn't know what to do with their hair. You know what I'm saying? You know that your hair you might have alopecia. I've never been diagnosed with alopecia, okay? I'm not going to say that. I've never been diagnosed with that. I just had one spot here, And okay, I had a bunch of little areas around my head that I noticed that my parts were getting wider. I could, my hair would puff up to about this, like a big dandelion. But then when I plait it or braid it, I would probably have 7 braids in my hair. That's just how fine my hair was. So I had real fine hair, real fine hair. I remember braiding up my hair, and I left it up a whole week. When I left it up a whole week, it should have had texture to it. When I took down my hair, it was like, poof, went right back to an afro. So I just realized that wasn't for me, okay? So I don't regret cutting my hair. But I do see a lot of people who either cannot do anything with their hair, or they are wearing these wigs, and some of the wigs are real bad wigs. I'm just sorry. Some of them are really bad wigs. Some of them are those oily ester wigs off of Fred Sanford, where you barely can see the part, but then you see the part, and then it just don't have no. I mean, all you have to do is get up enough guts to just do it. Just cut it. Just shave it. Maybe for you guys, or whoever there is that you want to share this video with, that you will be able to adjust to it. You know what I'm saying? That it'll help somebody else. Stop holding on to those wigs and keep going to a person that does not care about the health of your hair. And some of you, it might grow back if you just shave it off and start over. That's the best thing. Just shave it off and start over. Stop trying to hold on to dead hair that's not going to go anywhere. I've had people to tell me, "Oh, you need to look at that that oil for that." Baby, I'm 56 years old. I ain't studying no hair at this age. I don't care nothing about it. You can accept me who I am. This is who I am. What you see is what you get. Okay, that's me. Direct D. I ain't got time to sugarcoat nothing. I ain't got time to be hiding no more. I'm at an age where I could care less what people think about me. You know what I'm saying? I love my baldness. Sometimes I still forget that I'm bald, because some people still will look and stare. And I'm not one for a lot of attention. I'm not one for attention, period. But at the same time, it is what it is. And I mean, there might be somebody out there who is afraid to just take that step to just say, I'm going to let it go and start over. Or maybe I'm just going to let it go. You'd be surprised how beautiful you will look, and how comfortable and how freeing it is, because I feel free on a daily basis. It's no more jumping up an hour ahead to try to comb my hair, or trying to do this and trying to do that. And I wear minimal makeup. I wear a little eyeliner, every now and then mascara. Other than that, is just natural. And I'm not saying that natural is more beautiful. I'm just saying that's what I do. And I'm comfortable with it. And I'm okay with it. And I wouldn't change it for the world. And I just want people to understand that it's okay to admit that, my hair is not where it's supposed to be or where I want it to be. Everybody's not going to have long hair. Everybody's not going to have good hair. Everybody's not going to have healthy hair. There's some people out there that really have hair that just really needs to say, just let me be, just cut me off and start over. And it's okay. Just try it. You know what I'm saying? There's still quick weaves and everything if you don't like it. But if your hair is in a bad state, just do it. Just cut it off. Start over. Watch how free you'll be. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. And nowadays there are so many bald, beautiful black women out there till nobody's even looking at that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Forget what somebody don't like in your life. If that man don't like you being bald, and he don't like you, because that's who you are. Okay? That's part of who you are. You know what I'm saying? That talking about we like long hair and I like long hair only. Well, that's up to you. That's up to you. We have evolved. We haven't always had long hair. Okay? We didn't come in the world with hair hanging out our booty. Some have grown it to that point, and some have put it on to that point. And I'm not knocking anybody that has done it, so don't come for me, okay? What I'm saying is, if there is somebody out there who has issues with their scalp or with their hair, or may think that they have alopecia or may have been diagnosed with it, just cut it off, baby. It's okay. Cut it off and just enjoy life and watch and see how different your life will be. You know what I'm saying? Less stress. You ain't got to worry about you know, getting up and aggravating your time trying to get your head combed and or either just worried about what people got to say. Because that's what we need to do is stop worrying about that, because people going to talk regardless. There's a bully out there somewhere, grown and young. You know what I'm saying? So just have to just walk in it. When you do it, just be confident. Just be confident. I've always been a talker or, outspoken person. But I will admit that this has made me a little bit more bolder, because I finally am a little free from some things, And sometimes my hair made me feel like I was holding on to crap. So, yeah, just do it. And I'm almost through shaving. I'm just checking everything. Well, this nape is real hard to get sometimes, you guys. It's real hard to get sometimes. Sometimes I just be like, shoot, I'm gonna stop. But the good thing about it is, if the closer I get it, the less time I have to, have to shave it on a weekly basis. Because I do it about 2 to 3 business days. They say 2 to 3 business days. So, and it'll take me a long way. Okay. I think that's all I'm going to do. Okay. So, I'm going to show you how I empty it. Don't y'all be hollering gross. Okay. So, here's a Ziploc bag. There's a little lever right here that I'm going to hit, and it's going to flip this top back. But you don't want to flip it back without putting it in something. Let me see. See how it opens? And all I have to do is just hit it. And it comes out. I didn't even have that much hair in it. As much as I washed it, there's some dusty hair, okay? There's some dusty hair. And I know I scrubbed this head. So, and like I said, it flipped open and I just flip it back. Now, there is a little thing on the side. Now, this thing don't do nothing for me. I don't even know what it's, I know what it's for, but it doesn't do anything. It's supposed to give you like edges or whatever. I tried it one time and I was like, boy, you don't just go back because you ain't doing nothing. And then I put my top back on. Put it back in my box. And I don't charge it every night. I charge it when it's a few minutes before I get ready to. Oh, and I got this off of Amazon. Now, there are a lot of them like this. I tried to look forward to see what the price would be right now, but I think the price was less than $30 when my daughter bought it. And like I said, it's been about, let's say about 7 years since I've been bald. And I've had it since then. I have changed out the head because one day I was getting ready to go on a trip, and I ended up trying to shake the hair out of the thing, and the whole head fell off in the toilet, you guys. And I flushed it immediately, like flush. Like, what was I thinking? But I ended up having to order another one. It was easy. I got it from Amazon. Like I said, you can buy the head. There are blades. These are the 3 things. There are blades that comes out, and then there's a little thing that snaps the blades in half. You can get all of that. It's refillable, and I think there's probably about between $10 and $17 to do the head, to change everything out. And every now and then you're gonna have to do that, because the blade will need replacing. It will get dull. I've only had to do it twice in 7 years. Okay, 7 years. And on the back it tells you what comes with it and everything. And let me see what else it says. That's about it. But if you can't find this one, if you need it, if you can't find this one, anything with these rotaries will work. They have different kinds. I bought my boyfriend one, and it's got a shorter handle, and it's a little bit wider at the top, and he loves it. And I will never go back to anything. I don't want no clippers. I don't need. Somebody asked me who shaves your head? Me? Like, why you shave your own head? I can't mess up a bald head. I'm trying to get all the hair off, so I can't mess that up, right? So I don't need to go to a barber to pay $25, $30, $50 to take off some hair. I mean, I can do that myself, and I enjoy doing it, so it's a good thing. But I just hope that I motivated others. If you want to share this with somebody that is going through, let them know that it is okay. Let me get my glasses on so I can see. It's okay to just walk in it and do what you can do. I mean, pop them, you got both your holes in your ears, pop those big earrings in there. See my glasses? I try to get a strange pair of glasses every time. I don't know if you see the color of them. Let me see how they look. And it's almost time for me to get some more. And if you want to know what kind of glasses these are, I don't want to lie. It is, I be knowing and then I don't be knowing. It's the Joe something glasses. But I'm in the process of ordering some more. But like I said, just get you some big earrings, get you these glasses and switch them up if you want to. Get contacts, and then you can go on Shein, girl, and pay and spruce up some glasses. Just wear all kinds of glasses. I stick with these because I can't deal with contact lens. But that's neither here nor there. Now, what I'm going to basically do, I'm not going to keep you long. I'm going to just get a hot towel and put it over here. Thank God I don't have problems with with bumps or anything like that, because like I said, I realize that the secret to that is to shave with a dry and clean head, or a free head too. So if anybody else need any ideas or have any ideas on how they shave their head, or any other comments that they want to leave, and any questions you have of me, just put it down at the bottom. And I just hope that you guys will come back. And I enjoyed you so much, and I hope that you enjoyed me. So let me tell you something. Don't let who people are or how they are change who you are. Okay? I'll talk with you guys later. Bye. Directly out.